A warm hello and good morning to everyone tuned in to the 2023 Culture Symposium today. My name is Kyla Gentle and I am a Belizean writer. By day, I'm the editorial director of a travel magazine, and by night, I am a fantasy author and poet. As I present to you today on Writing in Belize, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the ladies of the Heritage Education Network Belize for curating such a wonderful space for those passionate about culture and heritage to be able to speak on and share about these topics. I am grateful for the opportunity to share a bit on my passion, which is life as a writer in Belize. Now, before I delve into my presentation, I would like to begin with a prompt for you, the viewer, which is this. Imagine a world without writers. If you've been watching the news lately, you might be aware that this, if even only slightly, has been a possible reality that Hollywood producers have had to contemplate. In the US, the mere scope of industries that are set to be affected by the ongoing writers' strike, from late night talk shows to movie productions, is indicative of the very career options that those writers who hail from the global north have. In regions of the global south, like the Caribbean, however, pursuing a career in the literary arts is often seen as a futile and, more importantly, a financially fruitless effort. Through this presentation, my goal is to highlight the inherent value of the literary arts as well as the many underlying challenges that those in the industry must contend with, since it is only by addressing those challenges that Belize's literary industry will be able to truly flourish. My hope is to be able to reassure aspiring Belizean writers that there is value in their craft and that a Belizean literary renaissance is very much in the realm of possibility. Now, I begin by looking briefly at the importance of the literary arts. Why do the literary arts matter? There are several reasons, but I would like to focus specifically on three. Firstly, the literary arts play a crucial role in cultural preservation. In her 2021 Culture Symposium presentation, The Writer as a Cultural Activist, Belizean author Ivory Kelly notes that writers are, whether consciously or not, cultural activists. She stated that quite often the literary arts are used as a means of affirming our cultural identities, and that, in fact, from the earliest period of Belize's literary development, our writers have, quote, challenged British or foreign dominance, unquote, in a post-colonial era. They have done so through themes in their writing as well as through the use of their mother tongue. Secondly, according to a review by Alexandra Sherman in the Journal of Frontiers in Human Neuroscience, the literary arts have an inherent social importance beyond just providing entertainment and enjoyment. Writing and storytelling have, for millennia, been used by societies as a means of passing down information about the world around us. And thirdly, just like the natural sciences, the literary arts have the ability to increase our knowledge and understanding. Even further, they fuel so-called intellectual virtues like empathy and curiosity. And when the literary arts are diverse and inclusive, they help to broaden perspectives and to promote insight. To put it simply, yes, stories do matter, and more importantly, our stories as Belizeans, our literary world matters as well. With that in mind, what exactly does Belize's literary world look like? When we look at the history of literary arts in Belize, and as shown in this graphic by Ms. Ivory Kelly, we see that we have been writing for decades, over 100 years in fact. When asked in an interview in 1994 how she felt about the state of Belize's literary arts and about the country's role in Caribbean literature, Z. Edgel said, quote, I think that those who are working at their writing are doing an excellent job, and I do believe that in a few years there will be a lot of work coming out of Belize. She also pointed out that many might not be able to devote as much time to writing as they would like due to numerous factors, including some economic. Despite those factors, however, and just as the late great Z. Edgell stated in that interview so long ago, Belizeans continue to put out work. Undoubtedly, Belize has had and continues to have its fair share of authors, writers, and poets. Still, we have had ebbs and flows in our literary scene. For example, between the years 2008 and 2014, as reported by local media house 7 News, the number of novels published by Belizeans living in Belize was 3. Of course, this number has certainly increased since then, especially with the popularization of self-publishing via platforms like Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing, as well as the creation of establishments like the Belize Book Industry Association and the Belizean Writers Guild. Nevertheless, when it comes to having a thriving literary industry, there is still work to be done. In this case, I use the term industry to mean a system where Belizean works, especially poetry, fictional works, and creative nonfiction, are being published in whatever way and are being circulated in regions beyond just Belize at some level of consistency. To examine what are some of the challenges faced by the literary world and those in the literary arts in Belize, we look first to a similar case, the island nation of Jamaica. In the study, Issues Hindering the Development of Jamaica's Publishing Industry, which was published in 2017, Jamaica, with a then population of 2.8 million, had a publishing industry challenged by, quote, the small size of the artistic community, minute literary fraternity, and few publishers, literary agents, book designers, and paid speaking engagement, all of which are owed to one common problem, that Jamaica is a small country. So, what do we and other nations like us, including Jamaica, need to do in order to thrive? To answer this, I first turn to Suzanne Jansen's study, The Empirical Study of Careers in Literature and the Arts. A thriving literary industry is one in which writers and artists have the support that they need to thrive. Jansen notes, quote, unless they create or perform only for their own pleasure, writers and other artists depend directly or indirectly on the social structures that support their work, end quote. This goes beyond just readers and audiences. It includes institutions, agencies, and organizations as well. These institutions can help artists to earn some kind of livelihood or recognition. Support structures, says Jansen, provides avenues for obtaining jobs or commissions and for recognizing talent and innovations. This includes publications, writers' associations, creative institutions, and booksellers. From my own research, I have highlighted 3 of the most important determinants of a thriving literary industry. They are growth in publishing outlets for new writers, including small literary magazines, greater avenues for writers to be celebrated and marketed, for example, via literary festivals, and an increase in focus on the protection of writers' economic and creative rights. In the case of Jamaica, the solution to its stagnant literary industry growth was to join forces, so to speak, with other Caribbean nations, increasing influence as a united region through regional events, including annual literary festivals like Pocas Lit Fest and Carre Festa in Trinidad and Tobago. Today, Jamaica has persevered despite its own challenges and even has its own literary festival, the Calabash Literary Festival. And the good news is that even if only in the fledgling states, Belize does have some emerging support systems aimed at helping its writers to thrive. We might not have Carre Festa, but we do have an annual Belize Book Week. When it comes to publishing outlets, the 501 Poets, Bafu Magazine, and Benton Press, to name a few, have all added at some point or the other to the kindling that will hopefully one day become a blaze of publishing outlets for writers in Belize. Furthermore, the existence of entities like Belize and the Belize Copyright Act show at least some minor forms of consideration for the protection of the creative rights of writers. Belize might still only have its foot in the door when it comes to entering the global literary world, but this does not change the fact that, like Jamaica, our writers and our creators are slowly but surely also finding their place in spaces like Carrie Festa, like Bocas Lit Fest, and like many other regional literary events. Just this year, Godfrey Smith's Diary of a Recovering Politician, published by the Angelus Press, had the honor of making it onto the long list for the OCM Bocas Prize at Bocas Lit Fest. Meanwhile, writers like Ivory Kelly and K.O. the Assassin and others have been participating in regional festivals in both the Caribbean and Latin America. The ultimate goal then would be to keep this momentum going and to increase the visibility of Belizean creators on a regional and international scope. To conclude, I would like to once again thank the Heritage Education Network of Belize for the amazing opportunity, and I would like to thank you, the viewer, for your time. If you would like to keep up with my writing endeavors, you can follow me on Instagram at kgentlewrites, or you can visit my website at kgentlewrites.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.